Imagine a phone that's almost as thin as an iPhone Air or Galaxy S25 Edge, but somehow packs a battery so much bigger it feels like someone at Motorola broke the laws of physics. That's exactly what the Moto X70 Air just did. And even though it's only official in China for now, it's already making the big players look a little uncomfortable. Why does it matter? Because ultra-thin phones usually come with a trade-off: sleek design at the cost of battery life. Apple and Samsung have proven that time and time again. But Motorola just walked into that same arena with a device that's only 5.99 millimeters thick and still fits a massive 4,800 milliamp hour battery inside. For comparison, Samsung squeezed just 3,900 milliamp hours into the Galaxy S25 Edge's 5.8 millimeter frame. That's a 23% jump in battery capacity for a difference in thickness you probably wouldn't even notice in hand. Even the iPhone Air, which is slightly slimmer at 5.6 millimeters, carries an even smaller battery. And it's not like Motorola compensated by making the phone heavy or bulky. The X70 Air weighs just 159 grams, lighter than many mid-range phones that don't even try to be thin. To put that into perspective, a Galaxy S25 Plus, which isn't chasing the Air-style design trend, has only a tiny bump in battery capacity at 4,900 milliamp hours and is noticeably thicker at 7.3 millimeters and heavier at 190 grams. So the achievement here isn't just about numbers, it's about engineering finesse. And it's not a phone that makes you compromise on basics either. There's a 6.7-inch OLED display with a sharp 2712 by 1220 resolution and a smooth 120 Hz refresh rate. That's on par with what you'd expect for much more expensive devices. The camera system also plays surprisingly high: dual 50-megapixel sensors on the back and a 50-megapixel front camera. It's not trying to beat iPhone Pro models or Galaxy Ultra hardware, but for a mid-range device this thin, those numbers are more than respectable. Under the hood, it runs Qualcomm's Snapdragon 7 Gen 4, Qualcomm's newest upper-mid-tier chipset. It replaces the Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 that powered devices like the Motorola Edge 50 Pro and OnePlus Nord CE4, offering better efficiency and smoother performance. And interestingly, Motorola's own Edge 60 lineup skipped Qualcomm entirely in favor of MediaTek chips. So this phone could signal a shift back toward Snapdragon for the upcoming Edge 70 series. Storage isn't limited either. 256 gigabytes and 512 gigabytes options paired with 12 gigabytes of RAM give it the kind of headroom that makes it feel closer to a premium phone than a budget-friendly mid-ranger. Plus, it supports 68-watt wired charging and 20-watt wireless charging. If that battery claim wasn't strong enough, fast refill speeds only make the offer more appealing. And here's the twist: on top of being thin, light, and powerful, it's durable too. Motorola gave it both IP68 and IP69 water and dust resistance ratings, meaning it's not just splash-proof, but built to survive serious exposure. Pair that with Android 16, 5G, and 3 color options: Gadget Gray, Lily Pad, and Bronze Green, and the Moto X70 Air starts to look less like a concept device and more like a template for where mid-range design is heading. Now, whether you can buy it is a different story. For the moment, it's exclusive to China, and Motorola hasn't revealed the price. Even if they had, Chinese pricing rarely lines up with European or US pricing, so it wouldn't tell us much. The more likely scenario is that an international version, possibly named the Motorola Edge 70, will appear in the coming months with nearly identical specs. The real question is whether this is a phone worth jumping on immediately. Honestly, probably not yet. As impressive as the Moto X70 Air is, this feels like the very first wave of a new trend. When one manufacturer pulls off something this bold, the rest of the market usually responds fast. We're likely about to see an entire wave of Air-style Android phones trying to outdo each other on slimness, battery life, and price. Competition will only drive these designs further while hopefully pushing costs down. So while it's tempting to crown Motorola the new king of ultra-thin engineering, it's smarter to watch what happens next. If the Edge 70 or its competitors land in your region with similar specs and aggressive pricing, that's when things get interesting. For now, the Moto X70 Air is a statement piece, a reminder that mid-range phones don't have to look or feel like a compromise. And if this is the direction the industry is heading, Apple and Samsung might have to do more than just shave a few millimeters off their flagships to stay ahead. Until then, this phone is one to admire from afar. Not because it's out of reach, but because it just might be the start of something bigger. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.